The most recently available figures show that Massachusetts' average income is slightly below $1,300 a week. Compare that to Massachusetts workers making minimum wage. Their weekly paycheck totals $360. As Anthony Everett reports, the wage battle is joined.
On the low end of the pay scale, an ongoing battle to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. In April, Fight for 15 rallies erupted across the country. The Service Workers International Union organized many of the protests, including this one outside McDonald's in Dorchester. Darius Cephas has been a McDonald's employee for 2.5 years.
We're peacefully doing this. We're demonstrating, we're shouting, we're yelling, we're screaming, we're letting them know that this is hurting.
In Massachusetts, the minimum wage is $9 an hour. Darius says he makes $9.25 an hour on shifts that range between 27 and 35 hours a week.
I barely eat at this. My mother always told me, do without. If you ain't got it, do without it. So that's what I do. People make livings and careers off of this, and I'm not even trying to be funny about it, but I know people who's like 40, 50, 64 years old working 2 McDonald's jobs just to maintain a check.
McDonald's is set to pay $10 an hour to 10% of its workforce beginning this summer. But the company says it can't raise wages for the other 90% who work at restaurants operated by franchisees. These employees aren't buying it.
This is my way into the system to let them know that we're here and we're fighting and we're not going nowhere. We need 15 in the union. That's it.
Home health care workers also took part in the demonstration.
Home health care is the part of health care that isn't well paid. And then like teachers, it's something that we value and that we want to have the most compassionate people for, but we don't pay them well for what we actually expect them to do.
It goes far beyond this is a job. You become family.
Peterson Charles has been a personal care assistant for 12 years.
Having somebody depending on you, and you know that you're making a difference, you know that, at the end of the day, you touched a life, you actually impacted somebody's life, and all that is rewarding all by itself. And, some clients I've had, I feel like I would have worked for them for free.
Some of Peterson's clients have special needs.
To some other clients, they really just need company, just knowing that they're not there by themselves. You want to start with dinner, a little snack? When I first started, I was making $9. It bumped up to $10. It bumped up to 11 and some change, and recently it went up to $13.38, I believe. I think what we do is so important, and it's so difficult to find good people. I think $15 an hour really still isn't enough, but it helps to some of us. It would definitely make a big difference in terms of staying or not staying to find other jobs.
Oddly enough, a third group involved in the protests, adjunct professors. They are non-salaried and often part-time. Now, guess how much an average full-time professor makes a year?
$65,000. I hope they make at least about $100K.
$21,000?
Even now, some 18 years, after I started at Northeastern, there are still people who are making $2,400 for a class. There's some people that are making, $4,000. If you're lucky and teaching a graduate class in some programs, you can make $5,000, maybe $5,500 a class.
Colleges and universities regularly employ adjuncts such as Pete Fronholtz, who teaches history. He says that in recent years, he has taught 9 to 10 classes a year.
I would say over the last 6 or 7 years, my income has ranged from probably $43,000, $44,000 for maybe 7 classes to maybe $55,000, $56,000 for 10 classes. And again, that's with, very little time off, just, a week or so in between terms.
50% of adjuncts are on food stamps and Medicaid.
To put this in perspective, tenured track and tenured faculty typically teach 4 classes a year. A lot of people associate adjuncts with part-time, and I'm double-time.
According to a report by the Investigative Fund, a media nonprofit, quote, the number of people with graduate degrees receiving food assistance or other forms of federal aid nearly tripled between 2007 and 2010.
Grad schools churn out way too many PhDs and there aren't enough jobs.
Leaders talking about the great things that are...
Increasingly, it's become part of sort of a corporate business model that's invaded higher education, where even though tuition goes up and up and up, there's this constant pressure to, save money wherever possible.
We reached out to Northeastern several times for a response, but didn't receive one. Adjuncts from other universities, including Lesley College and BU, also participated in the protests.